Yo, what's up, Sh3o shammers? Welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a little bit different than all of my other, skits and stuff. But this video took me weeks to make, so if you would like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. But anyway, I don't want to waste anyone's time. Let's get straight into this video. Now, the first realm, well, for this one, I'm going to pass the mic over to Slanzle, as I never played on the first realm. So, yeah, let's get to that.
The first realm was a chaotic place, far different from the order and rules of the realms nowadays. The realm was smaller and had far less people on it, and many of the prominent players who are on now didn't even play back then. It was a small group consisting of Petrov, Darth Pancakes, Kiept, Doodler, and of course myself. The first realm was a full-out insane war of power with everybody having up, which was a great starting point for our group of players. The teams consisted of myself, Doodler, and Darth Pancakes versus Petrov and Kiept. There was constant fighting between the groups that led to the construction of a coliseum to try and resolve the constant killing and griefing between the sides, which was sadly never finished due to the server's abrupt ending.
So yeah, that's it for Realm 1. A short-lived realm, but a great starting point for this new-founded group. With new additions in the later realms, they became more fun and exciting. So, let's move on. The second realm was when things really started. The original group of 5 were joined by myself, Sh3o, my friend Eli, my brother, Blue Flame, Fang Sheckenkrebs, Storm, and Joe. With all the new arrivals, this second realm is basically considered the true start of the long history of the realms. Now, unfortunately, I don't have much footage of the second realm, so this one will just mostly be me talking. For a while, the group all lived together in a huge base carved into a shattered savanna mountain. This is the only picture I have of it. We all shared resources and helped each other out with big projects. Bridges were built connecting the mountains with each other since there were multiple in the shattered savanna. People built their own dwellings in the mountains, and the first arena, shops, and casino were built on the nearby mountains and connected by bridges as well. Eli began a business, most likely the first business, where he sold drugs, and a huge stone centerpiece was also built in the Savannah center that marked the realm members' home. However, there was one problem with this base, and that was that people kept falling off the mountain and dying. Eventually, the decision was made for the group to leave the Shattered Savannah for good, and move to where they didn't face the threat of gravity. Though this seemed like a new start for our group, it was also a start for something else. Alliances and teams were being created behind the scenes, and lines began being drawn throughout the realm. On the surface, however, everything was peaceful. First, me, Slanzle, and Joe formed an alliance and flew past the Bandlands that were close to the Shattered Savannah. We found a village and decided to use villagers to max out our tools and armor, essentially to become the most powerful people on the realm. However, one day Joe decided to betray us and murder all of the villagers in lava for seemingly no reason. Joe became our biggest enemy at that point. Me and Slanzle both moved back to the plains at spawn that the rest of the people had made their houses at. We built mini castle towers next to each other to live in, and Eli built a glass pyramid house on a terracotta cliff. Petrov built a house inside a desert temple, but this house was a front for his true home far away in the plains. Eventually, Joe became the worst enemy of everyone, so all the teams eventually decided to imprison Joe in a chunk that was inescapable. This was the downfall of Joe, and he eventually stopped playing on the realm, which was one of the last times we'd ever see him. Kiept, Petrov, and Eli had their secret base in a plains biome with some of the rarest items in the game, including the dragon egg. But behind all of this, another power was forming. As me and Slanzle started building a mega village at spawn, Eli, Kiept, and Storm abused a glitch for infinite resources, including netherite, and they also had commands. Kiept was given Op by Petrov, and the three of them used it to get infinite netherite and troll everyone else on the realm. This eventually led to an all-out war, as everyone was completely fed up with Storm and Kiept. Eli was just kind of along with them for the ride. And eventually, the main living area was decimated, along with the old Savannah base being burned down by Eli. This all climaxed in the realm being completely abandoned due to nothing really mattering anymore, as Storm and Kiept had so much power. And eventually, this realm had completely ended. Now, Realm 3 was quite the story. All of the recurring groups, characters, locations, and players really got their foundation in this realm. In fact, Joe really became an enemy to all players on this realm later on, and truly got his villainous reputation from Realm 3. Storm had also been completely banned due to his actions on Realm 2, and Fang Schreckenkrebs never returned to another realm again. This realm began once again with Petrov, Eli, and Kiept going to a plains biome and building another secret base where they housed every rare item on the server, including the dragon egg. Keep this one in mind for later. Myself, Slanzle, Blue Flame, and Darth Pancakes moved to a desert village and built our home there for the realm's beginning. Eli basically lived there as well, but he kind of just lived all over, kind of like a hobo. One day, me, Slanzle, and Eli were out exploring and found Joe's secret base in an underground ravine. The three loved the idea so much that we decided that we were going to build our own improved ravine in the future. Eli decided to move away from Kiept and Petrov for good, and he leaked their base codes to me and Slanzle, and us three began slowly stealing from them in secret. Meanwhile, the rest of the realm was also building at spawn. The famous PP Park was built at spawn, which was a place for meditation and relaxation. It was also the birthplace of the Mega Dong, the one you see on screen now, which went halfway to height limit. Pride Rock was also built, which was meant for rituals and battles. At the desert village, a pig was also born, who became the first DJ pig, and who is now a mainstay on every single realm, as well as a strider named Stimpy. Eli also built a prison in the village, and built a sandstone block man named Sandman, who he declared to be his worst enemy and the villain of this realm. Soon after, myself, Slanzle, and Eli found a ravine and began building the first ever ravine base, which we had seen Joe do. We destroyed the desert village entirely and built a huge flaming monument and renamed it the Wasteland. So me, Slanzle, and Eli moved into the ravine for good and began devising a secret plan. We are going to steal the dragon egg! It was actually really easy, and we used a duping glitch to dupe one egg for each of us. So we put the original egg back in Kiept and Petrov's base and brought the copies to the ravine. Unfortunately, I made the stupid decision to display the dragon egg inside the ravine, and Petrov ended up finding it with the help of Joe. So the three of us decided to frame Joe, and Joe ended up going on a rampage, destroying the ravine, and killing myself, Eli, and Blue Flame for some reason over and over again. He eventually stopped, but the damage had been done. Myself, Slanzle, and Eli moved far away from spawn and from everyone else to an oceanside village and began constructing another village and ravine. This ravine was built, but it just didn't feel the same. Soon after, myself and Eli quit the realm completely, and more players began dropping off. Petrov saw what was happening and eventually decided to restart the realm once more, leading to arguably the greatest and most prominent realm of them all. Now, the fourth realm, well, that's a story and a half. It was arguably the best and later on most iconic realm of all of them. Well, at least for the Majesticans, of course. You see, the first video on my channel recorded of this realm was actually the second video uploaded to my channel. That, of course, was the well-known server tour. Let's get into the actual perspective of this realm. This realm began in a rather peaceful place. Joe, the villain of the past couple realms, had been banned, and Kiept was inactive. Me and Eli didn't even play when this realm started. However, there were also two new arrivals, Coolbro MC and obviously Flame, who have become mainstays throughout the later half of all of the realms. So at this point, Petrov, Slanzle, Darth Pancakes, TBNR Doodler, Coolbro MC, and obviously Flame were all in this realm, living peacefully without Joe, Kiept, me, or Eli. Later on, Eli joined, and he kind of just messed around and even built a house shaped like a middle finger. And then, I joined, and the realm became a lot more interesting. Once I joined, me, Eli, and Slanzle already began construction on the third and best ravine. First, we started building our houses in the walls. After that, we began on the more necessary things, such as farms, villager breeders, and our nether portal. Simultaneously, Petrov and obviously Flame began working on an even bigger, more intimidating castle. This meant there was a division between the two teams. Me, Eli, and Slanzle, and basically everyone else that was on the realm, but mostly Petrov. One day, I was playing on the realm. Obviously Flame was online, and so was Petrov. Just for fun, I decided to repeatedly kill obviously Flame. This eventually made Petrov go on a rampage, and then me, Eli, and Slanzle were on the run. Petrov named us the Pixel Dragons because of the design on our shields. And eventually, sadly, a ravine was found. However, what they did not know was that we had a secret mega base very, very far away that we had already moved all of our pets, items, and resources to without them even knowing. That, of course, was Lavender Point, our second largest mega base ever made on a realm. As we continued to build up our newly found mega base and even record even more Sh3o videos, the tension between us and Petrov only rose, and eventually Petrov griefed our old ravine, and we will always remember that ravine as the best. We immediately knew that Petrov was the one who blew up our ravine, but he still somehow blamed this on TBNR Doodler. But we still knew it was Petrov, and so we decided to go back to spawn one last time and kick his After that, we fled back to Lavender Point because we knew that if we were even seen at spawn, we'd be killed. It was that fateful day that the ravine was destroyed, that me, Eli, and Slanzle forged our blades and officially became known throughout the realm and the continuing realms as the infamous Majesticans. At this point in the realm, neither side was very social with the other. They instead worked on their own projects, and eventually it got to the point where each side thrived, not having to deal with the opposing. Then, one day, the Majesticans began devising a plan for one last hurrah on the realm. It was time for the infamous biggest heist. To put things into perspective, Eli was sent to take the dragon egg from Petrov, as he had been the most trustworthy towards him in the past. Petrov had no idea of Eli's betrayals throughout every single realm in the past. So, we built a stasis chamber in Lavender Point, and sent Eli to go talk to Petrov. Eli lied, saying he needed the achievement to have the dragon egg, So Petrov handed him the dragon egg, without question. And at that moment, which I'll never forget, we pulled the lever to close the stasis chamber, and Eli was teleported back to Lavender Point with the dragon egg in hand. The three Majesticans were extremely cheerful and celebrated over their victory. But little did we know, this would be the straw that broke the camel's back. The biggest war in realm history began, as Petrov was furious about the egg being stolen. We knew this would destroy the realm, so we decided that we would make a bargain with Petrov. We knew that if we wanted to keep the egg, we would have no choice but to surrender. So we devised another plan, and went to confront Petrov at the original stone castle built at the realm's beginning. Eli proposed that a duel should be held, and if they won, we would never bother them again. Either way, we would keep the egg. Petrov reluctantly agreed, and I was chosen to duel him at the castle in front of the entire realm.
Just start!
Wait, are you guys starting? No!
When you're an unshaded diamond sword, you have no
Okay.
chance.
This is the end of our tyranny. Sh3o, no! Alright, we will never bother you guys again.
So, in the end, the Majesticans kept the dragon egg, and didn't have to worry about being bothered anymore. Conflict had finally ended on the fourth realm. Unfortunately, without the conflict, things started to get boring on the fourth realm. So eventually, we all made a decision to hold an all-out free-for-all battle royale to end the fourth realm with a bang. Everyone was dead, and a lot was destroyed. But the fourth realm officially ended with a hurrah from everyone. The fifth realm, well, it's easy to say that was much less eventful than the fourth one. Probably because the Majesticans had already been created, and there wasn't really much conflict, and there weren't sides, necessarily. And for that reason, there won't really be much to talk about on this realm. The fifth realm started off strong on the same day that the fourth realm ended. Lines were immediately drawn, and all of the groups separated, going in completely opposite directions from spawn. The Majesticans, of course, were together again, and ventured off to find a village to eventually live in. After traveling days and nights, for hours on end, through the dark, snowy peaks of these cliffs, the Majesticans began to lose hope. But eventually, a moment that felt like God was shining his face on us happened.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Oh my god.
No way.
Bro, it's...
Oh my god, it's exactly like it. It's exactly like it. Oh my
This is
god.
beautiful.
After that, we began living in a village that we found to devise our plan to beat the others to the dragon egg. This had been our goal since the beginning of this realm. So we found a stronghold, got the Eyes of Ender, and were ready to fight the dragon. We had to lie to Petrov, T-Ban our Doodler, and Darth Pancakes, saying we wouldn't fight without them. And in the end, we thought it would all be worth it. Turns out, Petrov had already gotten the egg. Are you freaking kidding me? After that, me and Eli logged off for a while, not knowing we would never rejoin. Slanzle stuck around for a bit, helping the others build a civilization at spawn. It was rather uneventful, as I've said, though a fun period for the players at that time. This realm just kind of fizzled out. However, me, Slanzle, and Eli continued to play on the 4th realm alone. After not playing on the 5th realm for a while, me, Eli, and Slanzle had grown so bored that our group of 3, the Majesticans, decided to continue playing on the 4th realm. In the 4th realm's final days, the Majesticans had begun to drain an ocean monument, the one you see on screen. It took roughly 2 weeks, but eventually the monument was completely drained and surrounded by a huge circle of glass, blocking water from flooding the area. Instinctively, we named this new base Majestica after our team name. At this point, we had completely abandoned Lavender Point and moved all of our pets, supplies, and everything else to this new place, Majestica. After getting more supplies from Petrov, who logged in one last time, we began building a huge city and civilization surrounding this ocean temple. Slanzle and I got to work on multiple huge projects, while Eli began going around getting materials, as well as bringing tons of old pets and characters from old realms back. Some of which include DJ Pig, Stimpy the Strider, multiple cats, dogs, and parrots, Lily, and Sandman, who we imprisoned in Majestica. Slanzle started working on a large steampunk frame around our nether portal, while I started to build a large steampunk-themed train floating in the sky, which held all of our villagers, where we also made cobbled Deep Slate Man the conductor to keep the villagers in line, as we said. And as you can probably tell, we tried to keep a steampunk theme as best as we could throughout our base. We made tons of floating islands, one of which had a tree in the middle and held all of our pets, such as pandas, parrots, dogs, cats, and axolotls. After we finished these small builds, we began setting our sights on bigger projects. Slanzle did most of the work, including starting construction on this large blimp that you see on screen. All of us continued to build large skyscrapers and other things that made this place a much more bustling civilization. And one of our most prized possessions, our vault underneath our bank, which held a bunch of riches, armor, and had our map in the center. However, as all realms do, Majestica began to grow boring, and eventually we quit and started to wait for the start of a new realm to join back with all the others. Of course, Majestica will always be remembered and we will always look at it as the most iconic realm for the Majesticans. After the end of Majestica and the uneventfulness of the 5th realm, the 6th realm was seen as a fresh start for all of the realm's players. Old rivalries and divides were thrown away, and we all went back to basics. We started off living in a taiga biome with a small makeshift campfire base and nether portal before we defeated the Ender Dragon. After the dragon had been defeated, we did as we had done in the very beginning and built yet another home inside a huge shattered savanna mountain and lived all together as a group in the same area. And so the realm was bustling once again. Everyone was working on farms and shops together and creating new projects for everyone to enjoy. Eli and Slanzle built a new casino across from the Savannah base, and Eli built his first ever raffle area on the realm as well. A small church was constructed in the Savannah base, meant for, forgiveness and other stuff too that you do in church, but, not everyone used it like that. Cough, cough, cool bro MC. Anyway, Eli also built a holy area inside a huge pillar-shaped mountain, which he nicknamed the Spire, and it served as a new landmark on the realm. TBN our Doodler had built his own base on the mountain across from the main one, and Slanzle spent his days building a humongous black and red villain tower near the Savannah base as his own home to live in, as well as an amusement park across a river far away. This realm was rather quiet and peaceful, but when I say it was fun and chaotic, it was fun and chaotic. For example, one night when me, Slanzle, Eli, and Cool Bro were bored, we spent the entire night torturing Blue Flame, my brother, and locking him in a hole and killing him over and over again, just to bully him because he hadn't been on in a long time. We'd also just spend some times dueling on the bridges to see who would fall off first, and that was pretty fun. But one day, as we were playing peacefully on the realm, someone joined the server. Someone we hadn't seen in almost a year. It was Joe. Joe Mama! No, I'm just kidding. Joe had joined back on the realm. He began spawn killing everyone and burning stuff down and stealing from people and saying awful things as he had once done in the past. Everyone went on high alert as he began inviting his own friends, who were our past enemies, to the server, which caused all hell to break loose. Darth Pancakes was the admin at the time, and we all screamed at him to get on and help us with the situation. He eventually did, and Joe and his allies were dealt with, but it was a terrifying day to be playing on the realm. After that, though, things quieted down and people began growing bored. Me and Eli had stopped playing and moved on to other things, and eventually Slanzle joined us. It was a short-lived realm, but it was likely the first and last without any sort of conflict between our main group. I'm gonna be honest, I never logged on once to the 7th realm, but I am certain that it was the worst and most uneventful one, for reasons that you will see in a bit, because I am actually gonna hand the mic back over to Slanzle to explain this one.
The 6th realm had ended due to everyone being too overpowered and having nothing to do, so we tried to counter that by completely banning elytras, farms, and more that could make us too overpowered. This completely backfired, and in the end, led to this being the least played on realm by far. The realm started off with myself, Eli, Petrov, and the newly arrived member Blue Blueberry, traveling far from spawn to find a secret base to live in. Everyone else in the realm did the same thing, with Cool Bro and obviously Flame, as well as Teaming Our Doodler and Darth Pancakes going their own ways and creating their own bases far and hidden from others. There was only one problem with this, though. Darth Pancakes had forgotten to turn off the world border! It took him days to turn it off, and it led to Blue Blueberry and Eli getting bored and leaving completely. The others, though, however, continued and eventually settled in an ocean and built a small mushroom village to live in for the time being. During this time, almost everyone had gone inactive, and only me and Petrov really played it all. I began construction on an underground secret base for everyone, but it was never used, and barely even seen by anyone in the group. Eventually, everyone decided the realm was dead and that we needed to start once again.
So that's it for the 7th realm, easily the worst one of all of them. But everyone decided that we could start a new one, and we dubbed this new one the Final Realm, which was just a way to say, play or we'll never have one again. The question is, did it work? Yes, it absolutely worked. This is the realm we're on now, and the one you'll be seeing in all future videos by myself and also by Slanzle. You should also go subscribe to him. You'll be seeing more of it as we continue to build and make videos with the newly arrived players, old friends, forgotten foes, and so much more. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I would also like to give a huge thanks to Eli, who wrote down basically this entire history and script for me. So big thanks to him, and also thanks to Slanzle for the explanations on Realm 1 and Realm 7. Sorry for being gone for so long. I've been just so busy with everything in life, and this video has also taken me a really long time to make. So make sure you subscribe and like this video, please. Anyway, that's it, Shia Shammers. Shia.